Thanks to the horrible curse of seasonal Steam sales, I have way too many unplayed video games. Now I'm trying to play every single one of them at least a little, and it's gonna take forever because I'm doing it alphabetically. It's the Alphabetical Backlog Challenge. Today's game is Alice, The Madness Returns. This title is actually a sequel to American McGee's Alice, a 14-year-old PC game that I never actually played. I'm gonna assume the plot's pretty similar though. Alice seems to be mentally unstable, highly traumatized, and Wonderland seems to represent her psychotic episodes. It's a little unsettling as a framing device, but it serves its purpose, which is shoving the player into American McGee's playable concept art game world. Hey look, a Tetris block. I know I said there'd be more Let's Play segments in this video, and there are, but unless I get a lot of demand for it, I'm not going to do straight segments where you just see me playing for 10 or 20 minutes at a time without a break. That's boring. Instead, I'm cutting things up and just showing the clips that I thought were interesting when I reviewed my footage. In fact, here's some of that right now. I don't know, it's a good start because it's pretty. Really pretty. It's easy to forget how good video games can look, especially on the PC. When we got this Physax hair thing going on, look at her hair. That's awesome. Really awesome. And it just moves all over the place. It's clearly very well animated. And there's a floating house here. Earlier in the game's cutscenes, it's just that Alice burned her house down and killed her family, so this represents that, I guess. Oh, recover memory. That's great. Yeah, you do jump pretty well. Look at her. Look at how high she jumps. She jumps freakishly high. You know, I expected this game to be really creepy, but so far Wonderland's just... it's beautiful. I mean, London was really creepy and dark, which I guess London in that time period really was, but this is awesome looking. Like any true lady, Alice farts tulips. I normally don't even like crass fart jokes, but a puff of smoke comes out of the bottom of her dress when she double jumps. That's what it looks like, guys. If you don't want people to make that comparison, don't make fart double jumps. It's not hard. I never actually read the original Alice in Wonderland book by Lewis Carroll, but I do remember this. It was in the movies, at least. The keyhole. It's, like, it seems like I should be able to crawl through it, but I can't. So let's just do more flying mushrooms. Whee! Okay. And here's another one. I bet I get to eat some cake or something and shrink soon. Yeah, drink me. See?
My God. I'm shrinking in this potion. Shall I disappear?
Okay, so that gave me a superpower. I just collected teeth from a flower. Okay, so collecting teeth is apparently part of the game, which... well, I guess that's the first aspect of this being creepy instead of just kind of pretty. Is this a Mario Kart slide? Oh man, it so is! That's awesome! I still don't know what those teeth signify. Or where I am now. Oh gosh, now the pretty waterfalls turn to blood. At least now the game is starting to take on the creepy facade I expected of it. Got a drying out dead dragon, a disappearing Cheshire cat, and a magical weapon. The Vorpal Blade goes snickersnack. It leaves them dead, as seen in a previous poem. The Vorpal Blade inflicts the swiftest damage in a single target. You know, that better hold true. If there's a swifter weapon later in the game, I'm going to be really upset. And what the hell is this thing? It's like a three-headed baby grafted onto, like, a McDonald's mascot with Mario pipes coming out of its head. Ugh. That's where this game is going. I don't think I'm going to be very happy. Whoa, Skyrim Dragon disappearing effect. Okay. And for a little English girl, she's got some pretty good moves. Alright, this is only one baby head. I was promised 3. The knife is pretty fun, but it's not the only weapon in the game. A little while later, I found this thing. You've just obtained the Duchess Piglet Edition Pepper Grinder. Spice up your foes. Prepare savory snouts. So how do I use this pepper grinder? That's awesome! Yep, it's a machine gun. Pretty hard to complain. I've actually read a lot of people had trouble with the aiming mechanic on this, but it's not really an issue for me. It's pretty easy to aim. Maybe it's because I was using a mouse in this sequence, but even when I switched to the controller, I really didn't have any trouble aiming with this. Break the basket to receive an award. That seems wasteful. What's with the golden teeth? Why do I want teeth? Anyway, earlier I described this game as concept art, and what I mean by that is the visual style is obviously really important to how this game is. It plays well, and there are a lot of elements I like about that, which I'll get to in a moment. But when I play the game, all I'm really doing is looking at the visual landscape. I feel like the entire game was crafted not to give me a gameplay experience, but to let me see American McGee's vision of Wonderland. And sometimes it's a really corrupt vision, sometimes it's a really gorgeous vision, but it's always interesting. And this is one of those games where art really plays into it, like artistic style. It's not there to make me feel awesome. It's not here to tell me a deep story. It's just here to paint me this visual world and allow me to interact with it. One way this manifests itself is in Alice's clothes, which change for every level to suit the environment, and it's a cool touch. Sometimes the gameplay elements don't really mesh with the environment. I mean, check this out. There's a teacup, and I can shrink, but I still can't go in it. And it's not really a big deal, but little details like that do kind of bug me sometimes, just because the shrinking element is such a cool little aspect of the game, and it makes for puzzle solving, you know, and whatnot. But then when it games the environment, it seemed like they really should be, you know, you should be able to fit in there, and you can't. It's kind of like, well, you have the shrinking element, why don't you use it better? Also, is this floating? Yeah, this is floating. Ooh, and I can see under the walls, too. So there's some minor glitches in the game, but nothing that has been taking me too far out of the experience just yet. And it's time to get a new skill! Press E while focused to block with Alice's umbrella. If timed correctly, Alice's block can deflect certain enemy attacks. You know, that's great, except for the problem is I'm playing with a gamepad and these are keyboard controls? I kind of wish that it would figure that out. Well, nothing's perfect. Oh, menacing ruin. And the three-headed baby monster! I've been waiting for this guy. He's in all the tutorials. Is he gonna throw it at me? Oh my gosh! Did it work? Yeah, now I can slice him up. So I was able to hurt him once, but now I can't seem to figure out how to hurt him again. Oh, he's always hurtable. Hurtable. Those are words. That's two baby heads down. Now you're just a normal creepy monster. And I am your babysitter. You know, as fun as the battle system is, and interesting as the world building is, what keeps bringing me back to Alice is this platforming experience. Maybe it's because it's the generation I grew up in, where I played games like Banjo and Kazooie and Mario 64, but like this solid 3D platforming is really just what makes the game for me. It changes the entire experience. You're given a whole set of tools that you can use to get around the environment and the platforms, and you really get to use them. You get to utilize them in an interesting and challenging way. That said, the game can get pretty repetitive. I fought the same battles over and over, went through pretty similar areas, and felt like I was doing the same thing. There are new areas that are interesting, and Alice's clothes, again, do change with new environments, and that's kind of cool, but ultimately it wasn't enough to hold my attention in the game. I stopped about halfway through, and I don't regret that. I feel like I got the gist of what this game was about, and I enjoyed that. It was a fun, straightforward, classic platforming experience, and sometimes it's fun just to take a step back from the modern game world and kind of grasp on to those core gameplay elements that made the old games great. Alice has a lot of that in it, and that's why it's kind of a good game. At least that's why I like it. It reminds me of a genre of game that's not really made anymore. One that, when done well, really shines.
Like an unsprung spring, like an uncorroded gear, like an untarnished bit of metal that sticks in your eye.
Yeah, that. Next time, we'll skip a free-to-play title, try and finish off the A's, and hammer out a few things about how I'm doing this alphabetical thing that I didn't really explain before. Oh, yeah, and the like and subscribe buttons are still there. I think you're supposed to click on them. I don't really know how that works, though. Someone on YouTube told me that's how it works.